Hey, Jim. Whew. It is raining, so instead of continuing to fail to figure out where my carburetor is leaking from, I'm thinking again of my beautiful $500 pickup truck. And I came out here and looked because of this rain, and oh boy, check out these windshield wipers. There's literally nothing left. There. Nothing. There's no blade at all. It's completely rotted off. So I'm going to put some new wipers on it. Doesn't really matter what this windshield is already destroyed. But I'm going to show some love to this interior today and maybe swap out the fuel filter. Okay, started right up. Idles pretty good. And I drove it inside partially. And I've never tried the, ooh, that made a noise. Okay, so the fan works. That's a shock. Okay, well, we know the AC's not gonna work. Oh, sounds like it came on okay. No way. It is actually blowing cold. Unbelievable. The air conditioning works. It blows cold. Wow. That's worth $500 right there. Out with the old, in with the new. I'm pretty sure that new one's going to work better. Ooh, that was a dirty windshield. That side I haven't done yet. Boy, made my cloth go really dirty. So anyway, when I change wiper blades, I like to lay a nice pile of cloth on the windshield, even ones that are cracked like this. That way, if while I'm working on it, somehow it gets released and it smacks the windshield, it won't break it. So to take these things off, there's a little tab you have to pull up, and then it comes right off. There we go. Yeah, let me show you once I get it off. So it starts out like this, and that's the little tab that you pull up. I spin it all the way around and then pull the tab up, and then the hook thing just slides forward and then out through here. And you end up with this guy. And to put the new one on, you gotta pop open this clamshell thing and then stick the hook through. I gotta do it with two hands, but stick the hook through and then click it closed. Well, this door has some interesting damage where it looks to me like somebody was trying to pry it and thought, oh, you know what? I bet this door got caught on something and peeled open. Because it does kind of open funny and close funny. You gotta kind of slam it to get it to close all the way. And looking at the edge, I couldn't really find any damage that looked like it had been caught on something. And then I got down to here. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good hard hit right there. So, not quite sure how that would happen, but that's what happened to the door and why it's kind of sprung. Look at that new steering wheel cover. That's going to make the place I have to touch this thing the most a whole lot nicer. And then I got some seat covers from Amazon. So I'm going to put those on. And it's funny, it says here to seat protectors. Well, we're not worried about protecting the seats. We're worried about being protected from these grody seats, even though they've been pressure washed. I put in a new fuel filter. It's right on the inside of the frame rail, right next to the gas tank and the transfer case. This is the old one. I had to do it fairly quickly because the fuel kept dribbling, but look how filthy when I pour fuel backwards out of this filter. Oh man, that's nasty. So, boy, it's a plastic gas tank, I think. With the way this looks, I'm going to suspect that there's more going on with the fuel system. The seat cover certainly helped. Yeah, almost respectable in here now. It has a pretty catastrophic oil leak. I was looking underneath and it looked like it may actually be coming from the oil filter. It looks like the oil filter might have rusted through. So I can't use my lift. The lift just isn't big enough, and the truck would be right about at the limit for this weight-wise, but it's just not long enough. So I'm going to go ahead and put the truck on jack stands. I'm going to jack it up and put it on some heavy-duty jack stands because I also have ordered some more parts here. I'm going to put in a new starter motor. I got a new set of spark plugs, a set of coils, all cheap stuff. This is a set of 8 coils from China, was like $35. And this is my, that's a mounting bracket for a farm jack, but this is my lift kit where I'm going to level the front end, but not going to do any of that stuff today. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the wheels and tires off and inspect the brakes and maybe flush the brake system out a little bit. All the fluids in this thing need to be flushed and changed. And I cannot get this trailer hitch to come out. It is rusted in. I got the pin out, but I have been applying copious amounts of penetrating oil and pounding on it and hitting it with a sledgehammer, and I've been doing that for the last 2 or 3 days and has not budged at all. So, and I've been using a torch. I have introduced heat into the mix. So I guess I'm going to remove this this bed liner and see how bad everything is underneath. I'm pretty sure this whole bed is shot, but only one way to find out. Holy mackerel. I need to get a new floor jack. That one's kind of outmatched with this truck, but it's a lot of work putting this thing up on jack stands. I'm getting too old for this garbage. Okay, now let's see if I can get the wheels off. These are the original hub-centric wheels, and that means that the wheel is held in place and centered by this hub here. And that means that these lug bolts just hold it on. They're flat washers. A lot of times you'll see a wheel where it's centered by the lug nuts and they look like a little cone shape. And that's what centers the wheel and holds it in place. Here it's the hub. And so they're coming off pretty easy. Oh, wrong way. Well, here's some surprisingly good news. If you look in here, the brake pads look like almost new. They're like 80%, 85%. It looks like this has got a pretty bad lip here, so, and a little bit of grooving. So I'm going to say somewhere in the not too recent or not too distant past, somebody just popped in some new pads, because this rotor is kind of not so good, but good enough for now. I can overlook that for the time being. Now, this rusty shock absorber, ooh, yeah, that's not so good. And really, let me start looking here. I think that's just the paint coating. That's not really the metal coming off, but still, it's pretty rusty behind there. Overall, not absolutely horrible. I've seen worse. And those little step thingies, those things are terrible. They're in the wrong spot. When you go to step in, they're too little. So it forces you to put your foot on it like at a funny angle. And they're just terrible. So I'm going to take those off. Maybe I'll build some kind of like I did on the X5. Maybe I'll make some that are a step that will work better for me. Well, now that we're under here, it doesn't look that good. Kind of looks like there's probably a rear main seal leak. I guess it could be a oil pan gasket. We'll have to see, but there's a pretty good leak there. But the worst one when it's running is coming from the filter. And if you look there, you can see where it's pretty rusted all around the top. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the oil out of this thing and hope that that oil filter comes off without too big of a struggle. So that's some of the good stuff and some of the bad stuff that I've found so far in this beautiful $500 truck. What I did have out in my scrap pile was some parts from a modular headlight setup. So I've got the turn signal assembly, and I got a headlight assembly. So I don't know if it's going to be something I can change over. I know the plugs will probably have to be changed, that kind of thing, but might look into that. Okay, well, next time I'll do the starter, and I've heard that's a challenge, and we'll see how it goes. And meanwhile, I also owe you an Oldsmobile carburetor video, and I got it fixed, and we went for a 50-mile drive today up to North Carolina, so I'll be posting that soon too. Thanks for watching.